Welcome.
I didn't realize we were going to start with memes. All right.
Yeah, I don't know, it just popped up in my mind.
How's it going, everybody?
We are. Do you remember?
Bookworm.
Well, yes,
Fuck.
bookworms. Well, we're not that.
Drink and Dried?
Yeah, there
we go. Which one are we doing today?
Too many segments. Yeah, we're drinking dried today.
I'm Angel.
I'm Jackson, and we are going to be...
Drinking.
Well, yeah, actually. I think like the last couple ones that we haven't been, like, doing the whole
True,
drink
but it
thing.
wasn't Drink and Dried.
But, right, because it was books and bags and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we're back again.
And we're going to get some drink on. So I got something that says to be responsible, 21 and plus.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm going to try doing that today.
Be responsible and be 21 plus.
I think I can manage one of those things.
I got the plus factor, definitely. So.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I just got some Modelo. So.
Yeah.
Good old classic Modelo. But today we're going to be covering The Prestige. Great, great movie that I half remember.
I mostly remember, question mark. It's been a little minute since I've seen this movie. I probably should have done a little bit more research before. But
it's one of those magic movies, pretty much.
It's magical.
And it has a lot of like huge actors.
Yeah, huge actors.
Including huge
great
Jackman.
Performers. Huge Jackman? You just called him Huge Jackman?
I had to, because huge actors get it.
Wow, alright.
Hold on. I gotta get the main cast up so that
You
everybody knows. Okay, so we got Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, Michael Caine, Scarlett Johansson, Rebecca Hall.
Oh
yeah. David Bowie.
David Bowie, yeah, because he's Tesla.
And then Andy Serkis.
Yeah, he's Tesla's right-hand guy.
Yeah, Roger Rees, which is the guy from... where is he from?
Why does he look familiar? Hold on.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights, I think.
Which one was he there?
He is the sheriff.
Oh, shit!
Yeah,
that is him. Yeah, I'm like, why do I know you? And it's because he doesn't have the little, evil goatee thing.
Yeah, as you can see, the cast is...
crazy.
Very, very well known.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. But before we go into facts and all that fun stuff, we go into our UFO.
Ultimate First Origin.
Yeah! Hooray!
Blood.
Yeah, right.
Literally blood on my nose.
The meme of the sweat just flooding down. Yeah. So,
I'm just out for the rest of the episode.
Yeah. We're like, okay, this is going to be a short one. Yeah, we go to a UFO basically when we first remember seeing it. So, the very first time. Watching The Prestige.
Yeah, so this is one of those instances where, again, I watched this movie on your recommendation. So,
it was a good recommendation?
It was a very good recommendation. It was literally last year, give or take.
Yeah.
How long has it been? Maybe a few months? Close to a year.
Because I think I remember telling you about it and being like, listen to this list of actors, and you're like, what?
That's crazy. Yeah.
In a magic movie that I haven't heard of?
I know. I'm like, this is crazy. How the fuck have I not heard of this movie? And the thing is, I had heard of it. I just didn't realize what the movie was about and who was in that movie.
Yeah, right.
It was just one of those things where it just flies under the radar.
And it's like a random Tesla appears, like
David fucking Bowie.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what is going on?
Yeah. And so give or take about a year or under, but it was fucking phenomenal. I watched it 5 times.
Yeah, sounds about right. Actually,
yeah, I was 5 times. I was like, this is really good.
Do you remember? So you just did you take the DVD home?
Yeah, I took the DVD home. That's how I was able to watch it so much. Hey there, Tobe.
Toby's wanting to be on camera.
Yeah,
of course.
He hadn't seen me in a minute.
That's true. But yeah, how accurate is this UFO? How blurry? How clear?
No, this was a fucking Polaroid photo I took 5 minutes ago.
Like that. That right there. I was in there.
I was there. I don't remember all the details of what was going on around the photo, but I do remember that.
I don't remember what was going on, but I remember I was beamed up.
But I did take the picture.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say yours is probably very easy to remember, so... because mine was also from a recommendation.
Oh yeah.
From my brother, Levi, and he pretty much just brought it up because he was just like, "Oh, like, are you watching any new movies?" I'm like, trying to find some good ones, and he was like, "Hey, we should watch a Magic movie." I was just like, "Okay," and he's like, "Hey, look, it's The Prestige."
Yeah, because the only other Magic movie I remember vaguely is like The Illusionist.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one.
That was a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one and the Now You Can See Me.
Now you
You See Me.
Yeah, I forgot. That's like a heist.
But that was like a recent.
That was like a more recent.
It was after Prestige
well
and
after,
Illusionist.
yeah.
So, but yeah, and then I think he mentioned it because it was on TV actually
at the time.
Yeah, and I mean that was like was it 2 years ago maybe I think.
Wow, television.
And it's, I don't know, it's still out. My parents still have television, so, you still have to flip through the channels and everything.
No, don't, because people are not going to understand what a channel is.
I know. But it was on there, and it was at, like, the very end of the movie, so he was just like, okay, watch it, because it's at the end, but, like, you need to watch the whole thing to, like...
To understand what's going on?
To understand. Yeah. So, and it is one of those movies where it's just, like, if you miss, like, a few scenes, you might be... actually like lost, like, oh, why did that happen, things like that.
Yeah, you do kind of want to pay close attention to the drama that is unfolding. Essentially,
there's quite a bit.
It starts off fairly dramatic, but it's we're still on origin stuff.
But yeah, well, that was the thing too. It was like technically that was the first time I watched like 5 minutes of it. But then I found the Prestige DVD at a Goodwill like a few months later.
And that's the one you lent to me.
Yeah. And then that's the one I took home and then I watched it. I was like, this is a really good movie.
I feel like we got to keep the tradition going, and I need to like tell somebody about the movie and lend them the DVD.
I mean, it works. I don't know. So I guess if anybody's watching,
watch The Prestige.
Watch The Prestige. Based on our recommendation.
Yeah. Right out the gate, we're just saying, watch it.
But yeah, that's pretty much my UFO. So it's like, it's not blurry, but it's not clear, So it's like, I see it up there, and I kind of forgot to take the picture, but I remember it very well.
I have a photographic memory, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
About specific
pretty
things.
Much like that. I'm like, I remember the people. Yeah. I remember the aliens, but
He's like, yeah. That was like 2 months ago. Yeah. I remember,
I think. What happened in the middle? I don't know.
Do you even remember, like 2 months ago?
No.
What month was that?
October, yeah.
Oh. Transfer.
But yeah, so that's our UFOs from the Prestige. And now we get into the tricky part because it's the summary of what happens in the movie.
How does it start again?
With magic.
Well, with magic, yeah. So the way that the storytelling in the Prestige is done is you're kind of basically it follows two men.
Yep.
Hugh Jackman's character.
It was like Alfred and...
Yeah, Alfred, and I forgot what Hugh Jackman's character's name was. Hold on. Because it has been a minute since I've seen this movie.
It has, yeah.
We got dropped.
I know that... Yeah, I know. I know that it was Alfred Borden and Robert Angier.
Angier, yeah.
Or Angier.
Yeah.
Is it Angier?
Angier?
I would say Angier.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alfred and Robert, pretty much. So... They're two,
Bobby and Al.
Pretty much. They're two magicians.
Yeah.
But they're trying to like make a name for themselves.
Yeah, they're both like working for this other I guess guy who like works like they work under another magician. They're kind of just like support essentially helping like pretending to be like audience members to like,
Master
help
Wayne.
Out with the act. Yeah.
You have to do it like this. Master Wayne.
Yeah, essentially. And it's
I don't need help.
Michael Caine's character.
Yeah. He was cool. He's like like the mentor and like
he was still like Alfred to me.
Yeah.
He still very much was
Alfred. You
Alfred.
Get the vibes.
Yeah. But he was being like Alfred to Hugh Jackman instead of Christian Bale in this
yeah.
So it's kind of like...
He was more closer with the other character.
Yeah. Because at the time, like, what was it, Borden, he just wanted to keep on like doing like new acts and try different things. And like everybody else was just like, no, we're just going to stick to what we already know. And essentially like, but it's like a difference in philosophy. Like Borden, he just like is like a man who like lives out his act.
Right.
And whereas Endgear, he's like the showman. He knows how to like present an act to an audience to get like the best possible
reaction
out of them, essentially.
Yeah. They're kind of they have to like try to bounce off each other as well. Or it's just like okay, well, how do you do this or how do you do that?
Yeah, they're kind of like comparing notes in a way of like, okay, like how do you approach this kind of trick? How do you approach this? Or like, how does this done? And they actually go to another magic act where
I think the whole thing that leads them there is that the Michael Caine's character, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name. It's Michael Caine,
Michael
right?
Caine. It's just Michael Caine. And he's like, I think he was trying to say that only one of them is going to have some sort of like sponsorship or something like that.
Yeah, there was like a big show or something.
Yeah, and like he's like, oh, well, only one of you can really get in. And because of that, you have to go watch this guy perform this, extraordinary disappearing act with like a goldfish bowl.
Yeah, like a full bowl with a fish and water.
Yeah.
And they put it like on a dais of sorts, and then they just like wave a little thing, and it just like it's gone.
And it's like some like elderly guy too.
Yeah, it's like an older Asian Chinese man.
Yeah.
He's like he's doing this show, and then Borden like catches how the trick works, and Robert is the one who's just like, how the hell was he able to do it? He's just like, watch, man.
Yeah.
He's like, look at the way he's like walking around and stuff. He's literally carrying the fishbowl between his legs, being held by his knees.
Yeah.
And then Robert's like with his wife, who's also like an assistant in the shows, basically like demonstrating like what it would take for like this guy to do it. And he's just like,
how much strength,
and he's just holding an empty fishbowl with his legs, and he's just like, holy shit!
like no way.
Dude's gotta
elderly guy.
Dude's gotta be as strong as an ox. Cause god damn, and then he's just like, and the elderly guy's literally like deformed because he's been performing this trick probably for a long time.
Yeah.
Give or take for him to like literally just like have his like legs just like be like that position essentially. He literally waddles.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we gotta figure this out, like, because like at first they're like, oh, that was cool, and then it's just like, what? How
was he doing that? Like, how did he just make that shit go away? And it's like, it's not a trap door because he makes it come back. Like,
right. And just, after that, it gets kind of hazy for me. I know that one of them tries to do the catching the bullet trick.
Oh, the bullet catch. Yeah.
But that's not until like after. Oh wait.
Well, they're talking about that.
That's later in the movie.
Yeah,
they're talking about it first.
Yeah. He wants to do more. Like that's Borden wanting to do more like new tricks.
Yeah. But then
the audience.
The tragedy happens.
But tragedy strikes. So we start this movie on an L for Hugh Jackman's character because essentially there's a certain type of knot that they do for when they're doing these like high risk type tricks.
Yeah.
One of this was this like they put somebody in a tank, fill it up with water, and they make her like disappear.
Yeah. Well, she has to like escape.
Escape, I think, right?
Yeah, she's like tied up, and there's like a certain knot that she like kind of like pulls loose so that in order she can kind of like pick the lock and like that.
Exactly. But in this instance, the knot wasn't the one that they had rehearsed.
Yeah.
And she ends up drowning essentially, and this was
on stage.
On stage, this was Robert or Hugh Jackman's wife, and Borden is the one who like tied the knot, and when they go to like bury the wife, Hugh Jackman's character is like, "Hey man, what knot did you use?" And Borden's just like,
he doesn't answer.
Yep. I don't know, and he just walks away, and he's just like, "How the hell do you not know?"
Yep.
So that's kind of where the whole that's kind of where the whole problem starts,
the
right? The real grudge between these two men happens. So Borden's going off doing his own thing, doing his bullet catch trick, and Endgear is over here starting to like try to do his own thing too, but he's like completely obsessed with trying to get revenge essentially because his wife had just died from this guy who was like his coworker, and like I also even go as far as like they were friends because they were friendly.
It seemed like it at the beginning.
Yeah, and well, you killed my wife. I mean, I'm gonna have you answer for that. And so Endgear ends up like going up in disguise, sneaks into Borden's show.
Yeah.
And when Borden's doing the bullet catch trick, he hands the gun to an audience member. Doesn't know that it's Endgear until Endgear,
because he's in disguise.
Yeah, is in disguise. And at some point between him handing the gun to Endgear,
Mm-hmm.
Endgear switches the bullet, because we see the actual trick for the bullet catch trick is like a false bullet
False mechanism
basically.
thing.
False
yeah.
mechanism thing. Endgear actually puts an actual bullet in the gun.
A legit.
And then he just
like,
asks, he asks Borden, like, hey,
what not
was it, Borden?
Yeah. Yep.
He's just like, I don't know.
like,
Gets shot. Loses fingers. Loses
Yep.
2 fingers, I think. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, and that's when it gets like intense.
it starts getting more. It just gets more and more intense. Essentially, from there, Borden's literally like starting to like. He finds himself a lady.
Yep.
He's starting to have a family,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's where like kind of fuels his Endgear's kind of like resentment and jealousy, because like now he's just seeing this man is living the life that was supposed to be for him, because he was married and was probably trying to start a family also, but he never got the chance to.
And at the same time, you kind of get the image of him being kind of bipolar in a way with his family, where he's gone for days.
Borden.
Yeah, Borden. Sorry,
yeah.
He's gone for days, and then when he comes back, he's all like angry and like pissed off. And then there's another side of him, where he's this
we'll get to
loving,
that.
right. But this is like in the middle of it, where you're like, why would he act like that?
He's just acting...
he's just like he's in between like a caring, loving husband who will do anything for them,
for his family, and then like a man who's like so obsessed with his craft, and is just like. He's just completely consumed by him, is like constantly trying to find ways to basically make a name for himself.
Yeah. So there's that playing in the background.
Between on the Borden side of things. And, then Endgear's over here, like basically trying to starting to develop his own show, his own name, and like is actually becoming very successful with it.
And is it him who goes to who finds out about Nikola Tesla? And goes to his mansion or whatever, and they meet Andy Serkis.
So the whole thing with Tesla begins through Borden, because Borden basically says the name is the method.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Like
you're jumping ahead, but you're getting there. You're getting the points. So
yeah, that's true.
Essentially, before that though, Borden tries to get his revenge.
Yes. Yeah.
So Endgear's over here doing his own show, and he's about to show like this cool. He has like this cool like mechanism that's kind of like hidden within the sleeves and back of his suit that he wears for when he's performing, and it basically makes the dove.
Is it the bird cage?
The bird cage essentially that makes it like disappear, and but it's like this weird like steampunk type mechanism that like
bunch of gears and levers,
and like these little like things that like fan out. And
I remember that scene now too, because he's like, hey, come. Have an audience member, and it's like some lady, but then it's also
Borden
in
disguise.
In disguise.
And he sees the trick clearly because it's Borden. He really like lives.
He knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff, and Borden sees it, triggers the mechanism, and basically makes the lady like either break or like really injure herself.
Yeah.
The other audience member. So like also after that, Endgear essentially starts to like.
Yeah.
So now you've basically ruined my prospects with this potential, like I guess an investor in his show.
Yeah.
So the investor's like, we're not gonna have you do that sort of trick anymore, and we don't want you on our fucking stage ever again.
Yep.
So get the fuck out.
And that's huge for him.
Yeah, it's pretty huge because like I mean that's their livelihood.
I mean
right?
for any really
any performer really
any performer.
But so they're like, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. And then Borden comes out with a new trick, which is called the Vanishing Man or something like that, like the teleporting man or transported man. Transported man.
And that's where the whole
Tesla the story really starts to like take off. So Endgear and Borden are kind of just like shadowing each other almost, where like Endgear's just like following Borden around to see like what he does and like if he comes up or like drops any like little hints. And then this is where Scarlett Johansson's character comes in, where she's kind of like playing this double agent role, because at first she's like with Endgear and they're like kind of like starting to develop a bit of a romance, and then Endgear's like, man, I need to know what the hell is his secret for this trick. I need you to go work for him and try to seduce him, do whatever the fuck it takes in order to understand what his secret is. And she's just like, bro, for real? Like are you serious, dude? Like, I know you just had a wife and, like, she died, like, not too long ago. But, like, we've literally been, like, on a serious kind of note for a minute now.
Yeah, why would you do that?
And now you're making me basically whore myself out just so you can learn some magic tricks.
Yeah, that's actually...
It's rough business, show business, but hey. Somebody has to
ridiculous.
do it.
It's ridiculous. I mean, this is, like, what, 1800s?
Late 1800s.
Late 1800s?
Yeah.
So, I mean, just thinking of the setting itself is
I mean, yeah.
rough.
Given... It's like it was like late 1800s. Was it late 1800s or early 1900s?
Because I think it was like late 1800s, but
because I'm also thinking like Tesla. I'm like,
right, that's what I'm saying, like electricity and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's more or less the time frame, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, Scarlett Johansson's character does as she's told, goes over to Borden, starts working for him, but we're kind of starting to think like, maybe she's a little bit of a double agent because now she's kind of doing like playing both.
Kind of sus.
She's kind of playing both fields a bit, and then it kind of turns out that she ends up kind of choosing Borden over Endgear because, so Endgear finds one of Borden's like right hand man who's supposed to be like his fabricator, his like engineer, and he ends up kidnapping him, locking him away in a casket, and then burying him alive.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it gets dramatic. Strangely, not the most dramatic yet.
Right, that's true.
So he buries him alive, basically forces Borden to share his secret, and Borden just gives him part of it in the sense of like he gives him a clue.
Right, because he's in prison pretty much. Right?
Borden's not. Oh, at the start of the movie, yes.
At the start of the movie, and it's pretty much
again because like the way they showed the movie is like you're kind of looking at it from like different perspectives and points in time.
Yeah.
But at this point, this is like all leading up to like Borden getting to prison at some point. Gotcha. That's probably something we should have mentioned earlier, actually.
That it's pretty much how he got there.
The
whole story of him trying to tell of like, listen, this is what happened.
Yeah, this is what actually happened. Yeah. Because it's all like books and notes that they've been like stealing and taking from each other because they're like trying to break codes and see if like he can. Endgear's trying to break like Borden's code to like see if he can figure out the secret to his like transported man trick, and so his answer was that he would get a body double, like an actor, to kind of act as him essentially when he does the transported man trick. Mm-hmm. So he does like the thing. He opens the door. He goes right through it. Vanishes, but then appears on the other side within the same instant.
Appears.
And there was a trap door mechanism that basically lets Hugh Jackman down, and Huge Jackman goes off on the other side, which is his actor body double.
And he shows up, hey.
And he's like, hey, I'm the guy. And Hugh Jackman's basically
the greatest showman?
Yeah. Yeah. This other actor basically becomes the... he gets the prestige, essentially.
Yeah.
Whereas Hugh Jackman, the actual like magician and performer, is like down in like the undercellar area of the stage, and he's just like trying to get the prestige from under there, but he's not in the front of the crowd. So he's just like, after a while, he's just like, I can't keep doing this because like I never get to enjoy the fruits of my labor here.
Yep. He just kind of just gets to listen to the crowd just
cheering somebody else. Well, it's him, but they're cheering at somebody else.
Yeah.
So like, he doesn't get the prestige that he's looking for. And so that's where we find about Tesla, and he like kidnaps guy, and Borden's basically trying to, unbury.
We can probably get this.
He's like, "Hey, buddy, I got you. You're still alive." Was it Fallon? I think his name was Fallon. Yeah, the character.
Jimmy Fallon. What?
Yeah, right. And God, this is where it starts to get complicated. Yeah,
it is a very like.
There's a lot.
It's a lot happening.
A lot is happening. So a lot of time has gone by. Again, Borden figured out Endgear's transport man trick again. So he found out his trick again, and he basically exposed it in front of the audience, showing that
it's a fake.
It's a fake, a body double. And when Endgear went down the trap door, he didn't have any protective padding, so he ends up hurting his leg. Yeah. So Borden lost 2 fingers. Endgear's now got like a limp, a bad leg now.
It's getting bad.
Yeah, it's starting to just escalate more and more. The whole Tesla thing happened because like Endgear's now like with the fucking cane and stuff. And after forcing Borden to share that name, Endgear goes to America to go find Tesla, because at this point Tesla has basically been like experimenting and like has more opportunities in America than in Europe at this time. I think in Europe there was like some shit that happened, but so he goes to America, he's doing his thing, and Endgear's basically like trying to convince Tesla to like help him create like a machine that'll help him do this transported man trick. long story short,
An explosion happens.
there was an explosion. Tesla had a lot of enemies, especially in America, namely Thomas Edison.
You know, a big one.
It seems that Edison sent some of his guys,
Some of his goons.
essentially, to go and fuck with Tesla and destroy his lab.
Pretty much just sabotage everything. Yeah.
And Tesla did find a way to create a machine for Endgear.
Mm-hmm.
Endgear. I don't even remember what we were supposed to say anymore.
All right.
But
because he does end up using that
he does use the machine.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
Not in the way we expect, though.
Right.
So, back to Borden.
Yeah. Which
Borden
was crazy.
is kind of living a weird kind of double life between the Magic Man and the Family Man. Yeah. Where Magic Man Borden is out here with his mistress.
Yeah.
And Family Man Borden's out here with his wife and kid. And he loves them both very, very much.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's weird. I wonder
what's going on. This guy
it's
just
almost
seems
as
like
if he has a doppelganger.
Or something.
Or
but that's
something.
crazy.
That doesn't happen, right? What?
So, after a while, Angier comes back with the machine. Mm-hmm. Borden's kind of having a rough time with his family man side of things because, like, his wife's just like, what the fuck?
She's debating whether to leave him.
Yeah, she's basically like debating to leave him, and it gets to a point where she does end up just like, committing to offlining,
pretty much,
as they say.
Yeah.
And that was pretty brutal.
The dark element,
and also around the same time, maybe like a week or so later, Borden meets with his Scarlett Johansson, and he's like, "Look, I never loved her. I only loved you." And she's just like, "Wow, you are a cold-blooded motherfucker.
Yeah,
if you're gonna just come at me after a week after your wife died,
right?
I don't want anything to do with you, honestly. Like that's wild that you are being dead ass with me."
He's actually doing that, yeah.
And he was being like serious about it, and he was just like,
So
yeah.
So
yeah. Angier shows his trick to another potential investor. Dude's blown away. And we're kind of catching up with the current timeline of the story where essentially Borden is like trying to figure out, okay, how the fuck is Angier doing this thing? Because like now his trick is like better than mine now. Like I created the thing, so like what the fuck is he doing? How's he like solving it? He's like yelling at Fallon, basically. His Angier's like, why aren't you smarter than him?
Yeah,
basically. And he's just like, yeah, fuck it. I don't need to know it. We're done. It's over. I don't need to know his secret. Like, he goes into the show like the next day of Angier's show to like find out his secret, and he's like hiding in the audience, runs backstage, gets stopped by like one of the crew, but he's like, I'm part of the damn act. Manages to like finagle his way down to the downstairs area, and then when the trick does happen, we see Angier go down into a tank of water, and it locks. And then Borden's just like, wait, what?
Like,
what's going on? Angier's drowning in front of him. And he's like,
he's just watching. Like,
hold on. And then he's like, grabs like a hammer. He's just like trying to like break him out. But he doesn't succeed, and Angier just ends up drowning. And that's when he gets arrested and put in prison.
And that's where
like the current timeline actually meets up. So at this point, Borden has basically been put in prison. His daughter is off with Fallon, I think, at this time?
I think so, yeah.
And then he's basically sharing this whole story to another man who's trying to like purchase his secret, his trick to a Lord Blackwood or something.
Maybe something like that. He's basically like a fan of like magic and stuff, and like was very interested in like Borden. Blackstone.
There you go. There it is.
Yeah.
A Lord Blackstone was like interested in like Borden and his craft essentially.
I think Blackwood was Sherlock Holmes. I think
was it? You know what? I think maybe
I was just like,
maybe it's a little bit.
But
something about it sounded familiar and right to me. But
it was around the same timeline too.
Actually. Yeah, give or take.
But anyway.
So Borden's like, yeah, dude, like I'm not going to give up my trick for anything, but I also have a daughter that needs to be looked after, and I'm probably not going to be getting out of prison anytime soon. So if you do me this solid and look after my girl and make sure she wants for nothing, I'll give you the transported man. Yeah. So Buddy agrees, Lord Blackstone shows up with daughter in hand, takes the secret to Borden's transported man, and that's when Borden realizes, wait a minute, it's fucking Endgear in disguise again. Somehow he's alive. He didn't die. And he's like,
magicians.
What? I saw you dead on a fucking slab.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? So the machine is what happened. Mm-hmm. Endgear funded Tesla to build him a machine that could transport him. Mm-hmm. Tesla set out with that intention. Yeah. But the machine didn't work as Tesla intended. So what we saw was the trial phases, which were a hat, the top hat. Mm-hmm. They put it in the machine, and they sent it through the machine, and then the top hat just like stayed in place, and it seemed like it didn't move anywhere. Yeah. When Endgear's leaving, basically all upset, saying like, "I can't believe I funded all this money and like you literally did nothing. Mm-hmm. Like you've done nothing for me."
But it was like right when he was leaving.
Right when he was leaving, that's when he noticed, like, wait. What are all these hats doing here?
And they're like piles.
Piles and piles of hats.
Yeah.
And that's when he's like, hold on. Andy Serkis, get over here. I need you to check this out. So what the machine was actually doing was it was creating perfect copies. Mm-hmm. And when Tesla had to leave because his like laboratory was getting sabotaged, he did manage to put away the transportation machine, which is now basically a copying machine, right? He's like, okay, I'm gonna let you have it, but my recommendation is that you never use this because this could only bring despair. Because this is literally a full-on copy. If you put anybody through that, you're literally gonna have creepy. A whole other person that is exactly like you in every way.
And that's very creepy.
And it's very creepy. So Endgear, what he did was essentially every time he would do his transported man, he would basically end up somewhere in the other side of like the stage or like and amongst the audience. Yeah, that's where like the copy would just like appear, and then another like version of Endgear was. So it's kind of like one of those things where like you kind of don't know which is the real Endgear anymore.
He had multiple backups.
And he was basically every time he did this trick, sending the ones who didn't wake up on the other side down into his tank to drown to die. And use that essentially to frame Borden for his murder and send Borden to basically get killed and executed, which Borden does get killed. But then we find out that as Endgear is basically packing things up, getting ready to leave, and basically taking Borden's daughter, Fallon comes up and shoots Endgear. And then Fallon takes off his wig and mascot, and then it's Borden! It gets crazy, right? So you think the fucking guy who's creating clones of himself wasn't crazy enough. Yeah. Borden's back. It turns out Borden had a twin brother.
Yep.
And
that was a huge twist.
Which was huge.
I like the copying people was huge.
Was crazy.
Too. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And the whole secret
doing that, but the whole twin aspect.
Yeah, the whole twin aspect was the secret of Borden's transported man the entire time.
The whole
was
time.
That they were twins, and it was just one twin popping up on the other side.
Yeah.
And then they would switch between who would be in the stage and like. Yeah. And then Endgear was just like, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah. That was the secret. You just have to have a twin
the whole time. You just had a twin, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we worked our asses off our entire life."
That's your secret. Always has been.
Yeah, always has been. So Endgear's basically dying and giving his like final words and stuff like that. And you kind of just see like the difference of philosophies here is like where Borden is willing to work and like literally like lose parts of his fingers because his twin also lost and cut off both of his fingers to match
dedication.
Borden. Yeah, they're like fully dedicated to their craft, and Endgear is just willing to throw in like all the money and obsess over it. Yeah, but his whole thing was like he had like a lot of money backing him, and it was just kind of like you just see like the two differences in philosophy between two magicians, and it's crazy. It's a crazy good movie. Like the twists. Oh my god.
Oh, it's a great. Really that's what I'm saying. Like
fucking good, and it's not very often where I get to see Hugh Jackman be a villain type,
right?
Or not even. I wouldn't say villain, like antagonist.
More. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, more menacing, more
yeah,
ominous, I guess.
Yeah, just a little bit more on like darker.
Yeah.
But very, very cool film.
Yeah.
So we have one less Borden, 100 or so Engier clones that are just hanging around in a fucking water tank.
I think they're in Camino somewhere.
This is
a Star Wars reference, but people don't get it.
Yeah. And and the actual Engier,
The Clone War begins.
We don't know. Like there was just a bunch of clones, and for all we know, there could be one clone that got away. Like,
maybe
we don't know.
You never know.
But I doubt it. The way they kind of like let the movie end there.
Yeah.
But
because there's no second Prestige, so
no,
and there shouldn't be.
No, there really
shouldn't. That was a great
standalone.
There
didn't need to be a second Prestige. That was just really good. If anything, they'll probably reboot it.
Maybe.
But,
I think with that cast, it was fine.
It's crazy.
It was fine.
It's gonna be really hard to find another cast that meets that like talent.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I just really love that movie because like just sitting down and watching it like front to end, it's just like you do need to watch through everything for all those little details.
All those little details.
But it does hook you enough where it's just like there's magic, there's tricks, but there's also drama, there's also like violence, there's also like all these
like huge like historical
suspense.
figures like Tesla.
Like the history comes in with that, and it's just like it's just layers and layers.
And honestly, it's just the way they presented every like twist and turn.
Yeah,
was so intriguing. Like every time you think you could like starting to get like an idea of what's going on, then they twist it again. You're like, shit!
Like wait,
hold on, there's new element.
What?
And okay, how does this work now? And you're telling me like the whole time it were just twins. It was just that they were twins.
And that's why I'm saying that was the biggest twist of it all.
Yeah. So they were just literally just two people living one man's life.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is why Borden had two love interests because one loved the Scarlett Johansson character, the other one loved the family man, Borden's wife.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
But I love it so much. So I'm only going to do a few facts, just because I know that the summary was going to be a little longer, because it's a complicated movie, but it's good complicated.
It's a good kind. It's a good kind of complication.
So we're going to go right into our fantastic facts and where to find them. Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's not the one.
Well, it's fine. I don't really add sound effects anymore. I have like background music and whatnot. So.
That's cool.
Okay, first fact, which is pretty much just goes back to the word prestige itself. Originally meant a trick from the Latin prestigium, which means illusion.
Prestigio. Magic.
Magic. Our episode's done. And it just ends. Whoops.
Yeah, right. Damn, we should have brought a wand out.
I think that I have a wand somewhere. Yeah.
Wand and a top hat.
I don't think I have a top hat, though. Dang.
Could have had it all, Jason.
Well, yeah. So, where was that? I was reading through some of them earlier. Oh, okay. So, this is a 2006 movie. And there was 3 magic movies that came out that year, apparently. So, it was The Prestige, Illusionist.
Illusionist was in
it. And a movie called Scoop.
Scoop?
Yeah. So, which also starred Hugh Jackman and Scarlett Johansson.
They were busy.
So I guess they just made 2 magic movies, and they both released the same year. It's like, okay, sure.
Oh, you're fine.
But yeah.
That's interesting.
But yeah, a lot of people have heard of The Illusionist, so.
Yeah, because that's the one with Edward Norton.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
I think so.
Yeah.
Another fact here is that the In the Hands Vanishing Birdcage was developed and performed successfully for many years by Harry Blackstone Sr. and his son, Harry Blackstone Jr. So it was pretty much just passed on. Harry and Harry.
With an I.
But, yeah, so I guess, like the actual Vanishing Birdcage was an actual act and everything like that, which is cool. I like that.
That is actually
Where it's just like, hey, see this? This actually happened. Which is crazy because it's dangerous. The main character's initials spell Abra. Alfred Borden and Robert Angier. Which is kind of funny, actually. Because of abracadabra. Haha. Funny.
Y'all motherfuckers. Y'all got jokes, huh?
Yeah. Apparently their magic trick was humor. all along.
You know what? Sometimes you gotta just put in a couple things just for yourself, man.
just
Like
guys.
honestly,
Hey guys, look at this.
hey,
funny.
I do the same thing all the time in my D&D games. Like, yeah, why wouldn't I think because wasn't this like a book? I believe.
Maybe I think so.
I think it was a book.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was.
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Okay, so when Allie, Andy Serkis's character, is
Hey.
introduced, he makes a reference to a magic trick in which one person guesses the item in a person's pocket. The same trick is fooled by Serkis's character Gollum in The Hobbit, An Unexpected
yes, the
Journey.
Hobbit. Yeah.
it got in its pockets?
What has it got in its nasty little pockets?
Forever. I just thought that was kind of funny too.
That was actually really funny.
Yeah, but it is also funny too, where it's like this was made before The Hobbit, obviously. But
It is kind of funny that this just happened to Andy Serkis twice. Essentially,
it's just funny how this references Gollum, obviously in the Hobbit. So I'm guessing somebody on the cast or whatever, the crew, was like, "Hey, you want to sneak this little Hobbit reference in? That would be really cool." And then they just go, "Yeah, sure."
a little Hobbit reference.
Yeah, it is.
That's
It's
so
true.
funny. And then years later,
Andy
he's
Serkis
would actually have to do this scene.
Yeah. I wonder if he remembered doing that from the procedures. Like, oh,
I imagine he does. God, I would love to meet Andy Serkis.
that would be
so
amazing.
cool.
Oh. I think we both would be.
Hell yeah,
Like,
dude.
Yeah.
You more than me, probably. I'll be like, dude, I remember you
Yeah.
from King Kong.
Well, yes.
And the Prestige.
And the Prestige.
you're
I'm
like-
like, precious. I'm on the floor.
You're just on the floor. I'm like, yeah, he's real excited to meet you.
Yeah.
You're just like,
I can't believe it. Funny. Okay. Hugh Jackman was fitted with prosthetic earlobes while playing the character of Robert Angier's British lookalike double. In contrast to Robert Angier, played by Hugh Jackman, who doesn't have earlobes. Like the
Really?
fitted ones. So,
Huh.
which is kind of interesting.
oh, wow. Yeah, I did not know that.
It's just reverse.
I'm trying to remember, like, I'm trying to see if I've never met anybody without earlobes.
No, like the prosthetic earlobes.
But even so, like, I'm like thinking, like, people without earlobes, though? Is that a thing?
It might be a thing. I don't know.
might be a
maybe
thing.
from like an accident or something like that.
I don't know.
And they just couldn't like
Born without
I
an
don't know.
earlobe?
born with that one. I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that either.
I don't know about that one.
The world is strange, but and full of wonder.
In the bullet catching scene, Harry Dresden is on the list of performance under the Professor. Dresden is a fictional wizard in the Dresden Files, a series of books by Jim Butcher.
that I have heard that before.
And the basis of Dresden Files. So they kind of did a little sneak,
A little cameo.
little sneak reference
Yeah,
in there
yeah.
too. I'm just like, man, look, this show's all about that stuff. Apparently,
It probably
Or this
should,
movie
though.
is, like-
yeah, this movie should have like references to stuff like that, though. That would make sense.
yeah,
I might need to check that out because I have heard of the Dresden Files.
really.
Yeah.
I think I've like heard of it. I just never seen it.
Yeah, well, now I'm a little bit more intrigued, so maybe I will.
During the magic acts, the people planted in the audience who then helped them on stage are called shills for some reason. So, whatever. That
I
means.
remember. Why do I remember this from the fucking Heckna
No.
Kickstarter? I think I remember seeing something like that there.
Oh, okay. It's kind of funny, actually.
Mm.
I'll end it with this just because it's like really
okay.
brief
Let's
and fast. Is that this is one of the two movies released in the fall of 2006 that featured Hugh Jackman and Andy Serkis. The other one was Flushed Away.
Oh yeah, that was the same year.
Apparently, there was a lot of movies going out in 2006, like with those big name actors.
I remember Flushed Away, dude. Like,
I remember it just when like somebody like says it, Flushed Away. I'm like, oh.
yeah, I remember the fucking trailers going up on TV. And
Yeah.
shit. That's crazy. I didn't realize it was.
Coming soon to theaters. I'm just kidding. That's probably too older.
Be seeing you, my friend.
Yeah, crazy.
That was a good movie. I dropped my
That's
pen.
cool. So, yeah. Any particular scenes that like are your favorites, or you want to go straight to like the reviews?
Particular scenes that were my favorite. There was
Or
so many good ones.
Let's go to reviews and then explain why.
Yeah.
So 1 out of 10. How great is The Prestige?
I give this a 9.
9 out of 10.
It's a fun movie. It's the twist. The writing of this movie was very, very clever because you're clearly, clearly somebody did their research and really knew their craft of magic. So like somebody's very much passionate about it. And I've always been like
behind the scenes was the writing.
Was the actual writing? Yeah, not the magic. It was the writing.
It was the writing, but yeah.
I mean, because I really liked the story that they told between these two guys and the parallels between them. Because like these are two men that are like so similar, but like they just have like these fundamental differences in like the way they pursue their craft.
Yeah. It's just what path that they take.
Yeah.
Really depends on how their character reacts.
And you kind of, pardon me, and you kind of see that neither is necessarily right or wrong because they both kind of like do some bad things and some good things.
Because they try to prove their own point. In their own.
In their own way, yeah.
Whether good or bad.
And in that sense, like, I really enjoyed this movie because I do like something that makes it a little bit more complex than like a simple, line drawn, like you're bad, I'm good, Yeah. I like having a little bit more...
little complex layers. Yeah.
I like my layers.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to give it a nice 8 out of 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just because it's like, although magic movies are not my thing, this one is probably the best magic movie that I've seen.
Yeah. Granted, I don't know how many magic movies you've seen. I don't know how many magic
movies. Not many.
But yeah, it's like...
But I'm saying like between like Illusionist, Prestige, Now You See Me, and I don't know, maybe there's been a couple other ones that I might have seen, but... I don't know.
I think I've only really seen Prestige and Illusionist. Barely remember the Illusionist, but I kind of remember the idea behind it. But yeah.
But pretty much all for the same reasons. Was just so many twists along the way. It was just like, okay, all right, I guess we're just going on this ride now. Yeah. Like, oh, somebody died. Okay.
And just going off of like the basis of the Now You See Me type movie, it kind of makes sense that a movie like that would because it's like essentially it's a heist.
Yeah.
From what I understand. It makes sense that it would work though, because like a lot of it was just like trick of the eye, sleight of hand type of thing with magic.
Yeah,
it does kind of like lead itself into like heist type shenanigans too, because it's a lot of like performing and doing well under pressure.
Yeah, because it was very much performance based. Like they were in front of crowds, but they were also like kind of like streaming in a way. Not streaming. I think they were just on live TV and all that stuff like that. So they had like a lot going on them. But then like Prestige is more like these two guys trying to figure out a way in life, pretty much.
And it's also like set like in a much different
way different time.
Much different time.
Yeah.
So
which is another reson why I really liked it too, was just
honestly the setting,
the outfits were
the setting was very cool.
It was so good.
Yeah. I'm like, why can't we bring back like fucking top hats and canes,
like those kind of styles?
Because like we can bring back the outfits, but like the top hat and canes, that's going to be a bit more of a harder sell.
It'll be harder. Yeah.
I feel like the canes would be a little bit easier.
Canes, probably.
Top hats,
like the coats, probably easier, just because people still wear them a lot, like trench coats and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. It's just
the accessories. Like the pocket watches and the top hats.
Oh, pocket watches are fucking awesome, dude. Anytime I get it, if I can get myself one. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. I have like one that works pretty well.
Is it silver or gold?
The silver one.
Silver one?
Yeah.
Silver is really nice.
It's a nice plain silver.
Yeah, I've been trying to wear more like rings and stuff, like when I'm out in public and stuff like that, with like necklace and like rings and like
a little bit more accessory.
Yeah, that's nice.
Pretty soon you're gonna start braiding your hair and like
no,
adding like little like ornamentations.
No, I will stay away from that stuff. Let's not get too crazy.
Let's not get too crazy. No, I just agreed to jewelry. Okay,
I don't want to become the crowds in the Hunger Games where it's just like whoa.
Like it happened, man. You weren't a coffee guy until recently.
That's different. Next episode. All right, guys. I swear I didn't do drugs. I swear.
I just did caffeine.
Coffee.
It'd be like that episode of Futurama where like Fry is just drinking like 100 cups of coffee, and he just becomes an orange blur.
No.
By the end of the episode.
But yeah. But I think we highlighted a lot of the good parts, I guess, and like just through the summary itself was just like
it is a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was surprised at how much I remembered.
That's good because I don't remember half of that stuff.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, like if I would go back and watch it, like say like tomorrow or this week or whatever, I'm like, yep, I will still watch it front to back. So
absolutely.
Yeah. You have anything else to add to this? Toby, you got anything?
I'm a little buzzed, I'm not gonna lie.
Already?
Well, I haven't.
You're like so excited to talk about the movie and you're drinking.
I'm just like,
you're like, guys, let me tell you what happened.
We haven't done this in a minute, so yeah. Probably.
That's true.
That's probably what it is.
Okay, well, you want to tell the audience where they can find us?
Sure. We can be on the Anchor.
Yeah.
YouTube if you're here.
Mm-hmm.
You know where we're at. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and I think we're still...
We're not on...
We have only 4 now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we only have 4.
Just because it's been quite of a hassle with CastBox. So.
Quite true.
So just the 4, but I think it's good enough, especially if we're on like Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. That's like the big 3 that a lot of people have. So
like if you can't find us on any of those 3,
if you can't find us on YouTube, it's like okay, well. And this is under Bookworm Cinema Productions.
Oh yeah,
that is our channel name.
Yes.
And then we go under Drink and Dried and Books and Baggins. So.
We do a couple different things here and there. You guys can check them out. If you guys are interested in Lord of the Rings, we do a little bit of talking about that in Books and Baggins. Yeah. If you want more Lord of the Rings stuff, you can check out my friend Jackson's channel here on Exploring Arda.
There you go. Nice.
And if you want to check out more of my friend Jaxie's stuff here, check out his book. It's called The Lands of Ordia.
Yep.
Available on Amazon.
Lands of Ordia, Power of Heaven. Because there's 5 books, so they're all going to have...
P-O-H.
Poe.
Poe. Pooh.
Well, yeah. Yeah, actually. I am actually, like, a little update, I guess, is, like, I'm going back and touching up on the maps itself.
Yeah.
So, hopefully I can get those put into the...
Yeah, I gotta have you do some maps for my D&D game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
At some point. When we get find time.
But yeah, we appreciate all the views and stuff.
Thanks for sticking around. The likes, the comments, the subscribes. If there's a bell, try and ring it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, that's fine too.
You
can tell people about it. Yeah. Word of mouth. I still do word of mouth things too. Every time I find out about stuff.
All the time. Sometimes that's the best way.
It is kind of cool, right? It feels more exclusive than the typical like,
hey, I listen to this
internet post,
this small show that
yeah.
Yeah.
Just making sure we make our dues to the YouTube gods.
Yeah, right. Remember, Cthulhu is always watching us.
Yep.
He's right there.
Cthulhu is always watching.
Cthulhu. All right, that is all. Here is our vanishing act.
Yeah.